Let's take a couple of moments to stabilize ourselves, coming to the simplicity of what our soul's natural sanskar is, that to be free, calm, poised, and ever happy. Today we are having two Murlis, both dated 8th October 1975. The title of the first Murli is Inspirations to Become a Master Embodiment of Knowledge. And the second is the method to be content yourselves and make others content. In the first Murli, it is a reflection to look at who are you here as a spirit in the spiritual world? What's your role? Like in this Murli, Baba has given example of us souls being jewels and what the role of each jewel would be, which is encrusted in the crown of the king. And the second Murli speaks about we souls recognizing ourselves, our form, and recognizing ourselves and relating to ourselves as visionaries. This Murli talks about being intense Purusharthi, effort makers, want to see and learn and act out of experiences that we encounter. And second is to create, be the seed and create experiences. Like how a seed would create a fruit, we souls to be in a continuous selfless service by being ongoingly content. So let's start studying the first Murli. Do you consider yourself to be Bap Dada's decoration? The decoration of the Brahmin clan, the decoration of the world, and the decoration of your home? Children are said to be the crown on the father's head, the garland around his neck. Therefore, are you Bap Dada's decoration? In your own home of the supreme land, the land of peace, whilst amidst all the other souls sparkling like stars, are you the especially sparkling decoration of the home? Are you special souls who are the hero actors in the drama of the corporeal world, playing special parts? That is, are you the decoration of the world? Are you moving along whilst considering yourselves to be the elevated decoration? Today, Babdada was seeing the forms of decoration. Babdada saw the jewels in three forms of decoration. And what did he see? He saw all of you in the form of sparkling jewels. Everyone's form was that of a sparkling jewel. But of course, you were all number wise. So Baba saw the jewels in three forms of decoration. The first decoration Baba saw were the jewels sparkling in the center of the crown on the head. Everyone's form was that of a sparkling jewel. Baba saw that each of the three types of jewels had its own speciality. The speciality of the first number jewels, that is, of the jewels of the crown on the head, was that all of them were sparkling like a master sun of knowledge, equal to the Father, just as the rays of the sun make the world full of light and dispel darkness from every corner. So too, the jewels who were master embodiments of the Sun of Knowledge were those who were spreading rays of their own powers in all directions. The rays of all the powers of each one were reaching the entire world. They weren't within limits. They weren't reaching just one, not just reaching a few souls, but reaching the entire world. Together with this, they were master oceans of all virtues, the same as the Father. The sign of this was merged in all the different colors of the jewels. The sign of this was merged in all the different colors of the jewels. Each one had the sparkle of all colors. So the master oceans of all virtues, while radiating the beauty of their variety of colors, were the elevated beauty of the crown. These jewels, sparkling in the center of the crown, were visible as Bapdada's special decoration. There is significance in these special jewels being in the center of the forehead. Special jewels constantly sparkling in the center of the forehead is that they are constantly stable in their stage of soul consciousness. Special jewels constantly sparkling in the center of the forehead is that they are constantly stable in their stage of soul consciousness. While living in the corporeal world, their intellects are constantly engaged in remembrance of the Father, remembrance of the home, remembrance of the kingdom, and remembrance of godly service. Therefore, their place, sparkling in the center of the forehead, was also a symbol of their elevated stage. The speciality of such souls is that they constantly maintain an elevated awareness, an elevated attitude. These souls have an elevated vision and they are part of the elevated family. This is why they have attained an elevated place. That is, they have become part of the crown. The highest decoration is the crown. A crown is a symbol of greatness as well as the symbol of a master. It is also a symbol of having all attainments and having all rights. Did you hear the specialities of such jewels of the forehead, that is, of the jewels who are part of the crown? Very few such jewels were visible. They were the first number jewels, the first number decoration. In the same way, what was the speciality and the basis of the second number decoration, who are the garland around Bap Dada's neck? These jewels were also spreading their sparkle in all directions. But what was the difference? The rays of powers of the first number jewels were spreading equally in all directions. But the rays of the jewels of the garland around the neck were not all equal. Some rays were short and others were long. Some rays were going into the unlimited, whereas others were reaching a limited number. These jewels were close to the Father, but were not equal to the Father. They had the colors of all the virtues, but not all the colors were clear. They had surrendered themselves to Bapdada with their love and cooperation, and they were therefore the garland around the neck. The basis of such souls is that through their voices, that is, through their mouths, through the sound from their throats, they constantly sing praise of the Father. They give the Father's introduction and they bring souls close to the Father. That is, they pass fully in the subject of serving through speech. They pass fully in serving through words, but not in the subject of serving through the mind. They are not constantly embodiments of remembrance themselves, but they constantly remind others of the Father. The jewels with the second speciality are those who are not constant embodiments of remembrance themselves, but they are those who constantly remind others of the Father. They become the garland around Baba's neck and are close to the Father on the basis of that. There was a greater number of souls of this type. There are, of course, more beads in the garland. So there were many more jewels of the garland than there were jewels of the crown. Now, third decoration. The third kind of jewels, and they were the bracelet around the wrist. What is their speciality or basis? Arms are remembered as a sign of being cooperative and helpful. Garlands around the wrist and bracelets mean the same thing. You would call a bracelet a garland around the wrist, would you not? What was their speciality that was visible? The sparkle of the rays was not in the unlimited, but limited. Not all the colors of virtues were visible. Only certain sparkling colors of virtues were visible. Their speciality was that they were constantly cooperative in every task. They passed fully in the subject of serving through actions. They were constantly ever ready to serve through their body, mind, and wealth. They were constantly merged in the Father's arms of love. and they constantly experienced Baptada's hand over them. They were not those who constantly experienced the company, but they were those who always experienced Baba's hand over them. There was also a great number of this type of soul. These were cooperative souls. The first number were souls equal to the Father, and the second number were those close to the Father. So the second and the third number come collectively in the second number. The first number was souls equal to the Father, and the second number, which comprises of second and third, with those close to the Father. So Baba asks, did you understand about the three types of decoration? Today, Baba saw all the children in the form of three types of decoration. Now, check and see who you are. This was today's news. You are interested in hearing the news of the subtle region, are you not? Acha, to the number-wise jewels of all decorations, to the powerful souls who stay in remembrance of Bapdada, and to the children who constantly have good wishes, Bapdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. To the number-wise jewels of all decorations, to the powerful souls who stay in remembrance of Dada, and to the children who constantly have good wishes, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. And from us children, love, remembrance, and namaste to our dear Bap Dada. Now we move on to the second Murli. That is the method to be content yourselves and make others content. Are you able to see your confluence aged form and your future form very clearly? When you're able to see your future clearly, you will make good effort. The final form is that of Mahakali, that is, the one who finishes all devilish sanskars. Therefore, constantly have the awareness that you are Mahakali. This is why you must not have any devilish sanskars within you at this time. You instrument souls should constantly pay attention to make intense effort. What is the slogan for making intense effort? The response is, whatever actions others see me perform, they will do the same. That is a slogan for mediocre effort. The slogan for intense effort is, whatever thoughts I have, these thoughts will create an atmosphere accordingly. The slogan for intense effort is, whatever thoughts I have, these thoughts will create an atmosphere accordingly. Thoughts affect the atmosphere, and the atmosphere affects your effort. Thoughts affect the atmosphere, and the atmosphere affects your effort. Whoever has any particular thought of making effort, others will follow that person. Action is a gross aspect, but you now have to pay attention to even your thoughts. Do not consider thoughts to be something insignificant because thoughts are the seed. If we think that thoughts is something that remains only with us, this is something that Baba is getting this perspective that even thoughts is something that you need to pay attention to because thoughts are the seed. If the seed of a thought is weak, you will never experience a powerful fruit. To waste even one thought is a mistake. Just as you experience making a mistake of words, so too you should be able to experience having made a mistake of waste thoughts. Just as you experience making a mistake of words, so too you should be able to experience having made a mistake of waste thoughts. Only when you have such checking will you be able to move forward. Otherwise, you will not be able to take the benefit of the opportunity you have of being an instrument. Now, you should be making deep, subtle effort. The time for making gross effort has now gone by. To make mistakes in actions and words is an aspect of childhood. You should now be making effort of someone in the stage of retirement. Why does Baba say this? Because now we are Vanprasthis. If even now you continue to make effort of childhood, you will lose the lottery of luck. That is your fortune. Sometimes to be cheerful and sometimes sad, sometimes to make intense effort and sometimes to be slack. This is not the sign of a special soul. That is the sign of an ordinary soul. Now, there should be something especially unique in all of you so that you're able to make the stage of weak souls powerful. How? With your powerful awareness. Now, there should be something especially unique in all of us, all the Brahmin souls, so that we are able to make the stage of weak souls powerful with our own powerful awareness. Service is still waiting because you are not content. Service is still waiting because you are not yet content. So now remember the slogan, I have to remain content and I also have to make others content. Do you understand? Acha, Om Shanti. So let's take a few moments to reflect on what Baba shared with us through these two Murlis and then come back ready to share. Okay, whoever is ready, can unmute yourselves and start sharing.
Om Shanti. Both the Murlis are very powerful Murlis, and the takeaway from the first Murli is, for me, is the first stage, which Baba says that it is equal to the Father, and that is the Mastak Mani, the jewel of the crown, because jewel of the crown is very closest. It is, in fact, almost so close that it is like an embodiment. You can say that it's equal to the Father because it is just adjacent to the soul of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. It's very near. And and in that stage, it's like reaching the entire world. The frequency reaches the entire world, and you can get to know the news of the subtle world accurately. It's always decorated, and in that stage, there's elevated smriti, vritti, drishti, and parivar. The elevated awareness, attitude, vision, and family. So all that can be experienced in that stage. And the second Murli, the final form, the Mahakali form, which finishes all the devilish sanskars, any weaknesses in the soul. It just finishes that, the Mahakali form. And for this, the slogan was basically that Sankalp se sansar ka nirman, Sankalp se srishti ka nirman. So it affects the atmosphere, and how the atmosphere again affects the thoughts. So it's a two-way process. Interdependencies are there. Therefore, it's very significant to have the right thoughts, elevated thoughts at the first place. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Ombai. Yes, as you were sharing, Ombai, I was looking at the center jewel of the crown. Like, if I can picturize or visualize, uh, seen earlier in movies, that how it would shine so bright that, and also like how it would allow us to travel down to the subtle world and get the news from there. So, uh, where it's almost known as a magical jewel. So, yeah, it is so much one with the crown that it doesn't look like something that is embedded separately on the crown. It looks like a part of the crown. So, yes,
Yes,
that's the
not
vision
only
that's
we
coming
can
to me.
use, but also we can broadcast the elevated uh, news
Mm,
to our world.
yeah.
The reach out, the reach and the range is across the world. It goes to the entire world. So
Mm,
that's the beauty of the jewel of the crown.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, Shanti.
Om Shanti, brother.
Yes, sister.
It's really interesting, when you just go through the Murlis, what are the different kind of analogies and intoxication, Bapdada, I don't know what more. Of course, he's not coming anymore. The Murlis are all there. Because I remember the way he says, I love to see the sparkle on your eyes. I love to see the shine on your forehead. I love to see the smile of purity on your lips. Then he speaks about heart thrones. He says the throne on your forehead. Then he says the throne in my heart. And then he says the world. So then we go and sit in that queue. Okay, where are we? And very nicely, I remember the 3 garlands around his neck. Small garland, a little bigger garland, a very big garland. Small garland means, it's like a choke to the neck. These people wear, when they wear choke to the neck, it attracts. It's as if the neck is glorified over there. So they are the intense effort makers, and the less effort makers, he makes them as a big garland. And then the third garland, probably it's running up to the knees or something, they are the companions. And today, the same analogy he has taken, and he has given us the 3 levels. So I was thinking, what is the forehead? Why that forehead alone is given as the first decoration? Then comes the neck, then comes the wrist. So if you just see that forehead is nothing but just a person who has really reached the height of soul consciousness. Because even when I used to do Sahaj Yoga, I remember they used to say, take the energy from the down chakra, go up below all the chakras, and come to the Sahasra 1,000 petals, the top of the head. A kind of ascending line. We always knew that's how energy flows upwards. So Baba rightly chose that thing, and then he places a jewel over there. And then when he spoke about the colors, because you see, the color for the garland, he says, was less, but the color of the forehead was visible. That's the virtues. So when the forehead jewel, the virtue is totally Sola Kala Pradhan, not a little vice in the jewel, a perfect stage. That is why it's up. And then, to be on the top, he's saying it's like on Bap Dada's the neck, because in so many Murlis, Baba says garland round your neck, garland round my neck. But over here, the virtue on the forehead, Bap Dada's decoration, Bap Dada's decoration. So you have to really analyze those 2 paragraphs where Baba is saying, what is the significance? Just that one line hit me correct. They remain stable in the stage of soul consciousness in the corporeal form. I think that is what. And in the corporeal form, remembering Baba, remembering Paramdam, remembering everything. That is the jewel. So I think I don't know whether I have reached that, but I loved that kind of, like USP Baba puts on that forehead. Garland on the neck is nice. I don't know. I love garland on the neck. You know why? It's like hugging Baba for me, like my Brahma Baba. I know I'm not equal to the father, but you're so close to the father. Third one, of course, it's some of us don't even remember bracelet and all, but I think it's more like a promise. That bracelet sometimes Baba uses only for a promise, but he says wrist and he extends to the arms and says they are only my helpers. It is such a nice Murli to go through, and something deeper is there. And I just connected it to what he used to say, so many analogies, and I don't know what more. I could only remember so much of the others. But the second paragraph hit me when he says they remain stable in the stage of soul consciousness in the center of the forehead in the corporeal form. Oof. Really, Baba, you are, I don't know, what can I call you, an alchemist.
So interestingly, Girjavan, what you were sharing, what I was learning out of that is I was connecting that each and every element of the body is, if you see the Devi Devtas or anyone, each and every important part of the body used to be uh, having some kind of decoration. And decoration goes with, if you can connect it with celebration. So here, when there is a, a jewel or some kind of a decoration on the forehead, is because that signifies respecting or valuing the soul, like you said. And then garland around the neck is about the throat. So the service through the words, that is where the words come out from, through your throat. And the garland around the wrist is the service through your actions, because that's where you are the karta, where you are the deed, the doer. So these three things are reflecting as I am getting deep into understanding what Baba means to say through this Murli. Very interesting perspective. Thank you, sister.
Om Shanti.
Yes, Sanjay Bhai.
Today, the Murli is very interesting also. And the first Murli and the second Murli, which I feel is interconnected. When I came to Baba initially, I understood that I am having some distance between me and Baba. And then I tried to introspect. What I found that the distance between me and Baba is the amount of calm, close, low, moh, and ahankar within me. That is the distance between me and Baba. That is, the body is basically the body consciousness is the difference. Then we started doing Purusharth. That Baba says in the second Murli, that if you become Mahakali, that means you are doing Purusharth. In Bhakti, they said to Durga about Durga, Durgarthi Shamani. Diagnose the Durguna evil within you and nullify all those evil by the weapon of Jnana. That you have to become Mahakali and nullify all the devilities. And as the negativity within you is nullified, you are coming close to Baba. And in that process, the process is on. And when all the devils is over, that means you are ab Baba ki god mein aa gaye. You come in the lap of Baba. And in that process, what happens, a time comes when you are very, very close to Baba. Very, very close to Baba, that means you become Bab Saman. That is lovely Nisthiti. To what Baba is telling, tum gale ka haar nahi, tum mastak mani ho. You come in my jewel of my crown. And that is the number war which you have. The topmost in the crown, the second one in the garland, and the third one in the wrist. Om Shanti.
Very nice, Sanjay Bhai. Thank you.
Om Shanti. So, interesting Murli. Second part of the Murli, there is this line which says that, to waste even one thought is a mistake. Papa says to waste one thought is also a mistake. So when we think about it, then it feels that, it's in this time, especially this conference age, every thought of a Brahmin is a treasure. So when we analyze that and then use in a worthwhile way, we can make ourselves so elevated, equal to Baba. And when we waste them, right, we can become ordinary soul. So that's where that whole difference comes in. And Baba says, it's just like experiencing making a mistake of the words to wasting a word means it's just a mistake of wasting your thoughts. So there where we are wasting our treasure. So the checking needs to be done here to understand how much we are wasting per day. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Vimesh bhai, just to add a bit, as who was the brother? Sanjay bhai, I think. When he was doing, I got a picture. See, when you just first come to Baba or anything, what you do, you just hold hand. So I started by just, even though Baba is saying helper is the third, I felt I first held his hand then went round his neck because I became too close to him, hugged round his neck. And then, as if he's my father, I went and sat on his head. I was just trying to play the game like this. I hope really somewhere around we get all these kind of analogies which Baba has given, if we could just make a pedia out of it, like a decoration pedia we should make, I think, for the Murlis, which what we have done. But as usual, I have just two questions for you. Please do not mind me. It's not like I'm finding mistake in the Murli. If you see, Baba started with 4 decorations in the first line. The decoration of the Brahmin clan was also there. But in the paragraph, I see everything. The home is defined, the self is defined, Bab Dada is defined, but I was just searching for, is there anything or is he going to keep it for the next Murli? That was one. And in the second Murli, unfortunately, I don't have the complete thing. As you were reading, I was just trying to catch what you were reading. That I just was thinking that sentence, actions are gross. So thoughts, yes, you should take care. That, okay, I understand thought is the seed, thought is the sankalp. But action, I thought, is an expression of everything. It becomes a sin later. So what is that check which Baba has given on actions? Because I could not catch up with that Murli. If you do not mind, just these two aspects. The first one I know is a very insignificant thing. But the second Murli, if you could please clarify.
Would anyone like to answer what Girjaben is asking? Anyone would like to share their perspective?
Om Shanti. Hello, Om Shanti.
Yes, Sanjay, we can hear you.
Girjaban very interestingly got the crux of that, what I was trying to tell. Initially, we come close to Baba, हाथ पकड़ते, फिर गले पकड़ते हैं, फिर बाबा के सर पर बैठ जाते हैं. जो लाडले बच्चे होते हैं, बाबा puts on the head. That was the first part, very clearly understood by Girjaben. And second, she was telling about how to take care of our actions, basically. So, Baba always tells in the Murli that Sankalp is a seed, which again Baba today has underlined. And we can see from the word actions, as sister was telling, I was thinking, I was churning, and what I found, that the word actions can help you to understand. The first word, adorn yourself with divine virtues. And then see, when you are adorning yourself with divine virtues, see, you will have that clarity. See, you will be able to check yourself. See, you will be able to change yourself. And T, in that process, transformation takes place. And when that transformation takes place, you come I in the inward journey. And then introspection again. And when you become obedient, and N, nirakari, nirvikari, nirahankari, S, you become soul conscious, the action is taken, you become a different personality. Om Shanti.
That was a wonderful articulation, Sanjay, right?
Thank you. Thank
Yeah. And yeah, speaking about the actions, when Baba says actions are gross, means you really, the thoughts, see, we may have thoughts which may not be elevated, but thoughts are not always seen, but the vibe can be felt. And the same way, looking at the actions, to be very careful with the quality of actions that come out of you. One of the line that came to me when Bijit Bhai was you were sharing was that don't make the mistake of making any mistake. So actions have to be very, very much pre-thought, uh, having a poise, having that stability, and looking at what could be a possible outcome out of this kind of an action that I'm taking. Maybe that is the message that Baba wants to convey. This is what I get. And if that answers your question, Gijaman, what Sanjay Bhai shared and what I attempted.
Yeah, I think I just got a glimpse of it, but as I told you, I could not even see the Murli properly. For me, I need to, my eyes also have to go on it to get that. That's how I can really find what Baba is trying to read between the lines. His things between the lines are sometimes so too much, because I was trying to connect. You spoke of a form, I think Mahakali. So then immediately it came down to thoughts and all. So I couldn't connect that. So I think I need to really go through the Murli again to see the thing. Yeah, but actions, oh, when he said gross, it hit me.
Yeah, it is. If you see, it connects that when Baba says the final form is that of Mahakali, that is one who finishes all devilish sanskars. And then if you see the sanskars, that thought processes, the beliefs, the acquired insecurities, all of that will have us have the actions show up. Even what we speak, it all of us will show up in the form of vices. So when Baba says that about actions being gross is where you kind of get aware, agile, you cleanse on your soul level so that it kind of transpires and then shows up in whatever you're speaking and whatever you're doing, all of that. So that is how I feel I can circle this bit of what Baba wants to say.
Om Shanti, I would like to add one line to that. Very
Yes,
interesting
yes,
line.
Sanjay Bhai.
As we are just churning in the Murli, that Mahakali nullify all the evilish. In Bhakti, it is a very interesting line which we say, Mahakali, the second stage will be Mahasaraswati, and the final stage is Mahalakshmi. Mahakali nullify all the devilish. Mahajagdamba Saraswati do Purusharth in that position, and then in Satyuga become Mahalakshmi. Om Shanti.
Very simply explained, Sanjay Bhai. Very nice. All right. Let's get on to a short meditation. Uh, Ombai, would you like to conduct a short meditation here?
Okay, I will try
Yeah.
based on today's Murli. Bhaiji.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's be all seated on the crown of the forehead of Bab Dada, the center of the forehead. The Mastak Mani, which is the command and the control center of the elevated thoughts, elevated and pure feelings, which translate into elevated actions and elevated purusharth, intense efforts towards self-transformation and the world transformation. Experience the transformation happening every moment, every thought, every word, and every action, reaching to the entire world, the entire universe, up to the Brahmand, the Paramdham, supreme abode. And at this supreme consciousness, the stage of the supreme consciousness, I, the soul, is in the supreme awareness, having the elevated vision of a completely perfect world without any sorrow, without any shortcoming, without any suffering, where everyone is contented, feeling happy, loveful, and blissful state. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you, Ombai, for this wonderful meditation. Kind of covered the whole complete two Murlis. Thank you, everyone. We meet
Thank
again tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. Om Shanti.
you.